This is, what was this one?
Inside Media.
Inside Media. So they go all around and do interviews and work for WCCA. This is one of our fellows this year, Lauren Monroe, and she runs Think Tank. So these are some of her kids doing some experiments and artwork. This is a project that we funded through the REC, the Regional Environmental Council. So they did a mural and a mosaic project. So this is some of the work that they were doing. This is part of their completed project. Here they are working on their banner. You can see all the corn growing in the back. This is Sue Chantney. She's a local Worcester artist, and this is part of our public art initiative. So I'm sure you guys have seen some of the murals that have gone up in the city. Some of those are partially granted through us, and this is part of Art in the Park, which will be coming up summer of next year. The Canal District Wagon Tours, and we're very proud of those because a lot of those kids have gone on to do amazing things as part of their education that they've learned being part of the wagon tours in the Canal District. This is a photo of the Arts Worcester. It's at Arts Worcester, but it's their college consortium show, which brings all the colleges in the Worcester area to Arts Worcester on a night where they get to celebrate all the work that they do through a jury show. This is our other, let me go back, this is Gail Scott. He was our second
Fellow.
Thank you, fellow. So he does work at the Worcester Center for Crafts, and this is some of the work that he's working on now as part of this fellowship. So, let's get down to brass tacks. Again, sucking the creativity out of it. Who can apply? Kate, can you miss a slide? There we go. So the Worcester Arts Council, we're a commission whose 9 members are appointed by the city manager to dispense funds. Our mission is to promote excellence, access, education, diversity in the arts, humanities, interpretive sciences to improve the quality of life for Worcester residents and contribute to the economic vitality of our city. Who can apply? Individuals, nonprofit organizations, schools, libraries, and other public agencies, associations that can establish nonprofit objective. Project grant applications must maintain a residence, commercial, or studio address in Worcester County. All projects must happen within the year in Worcester. So you can't write a grant that's going to happen in Auburn because it's not Worcester. So, but you can be from Auburn and write a grant that takes place in Worcester. So, fellowship applicants must maintain a resident or commercial or studio address in the city of Worcester. Things that WAC will not fund. Food. Projects in which fundraising is the primary goal. Projects that replace a regular curriculum in the arts, humanities, and interpretive science, or the stipends or salaried employees of municipal employees. So if you're a teacher and your budget's been cut for an art class, we can't pay for that. So the full cost of capital expenses valued at $500 more when they have a lifespan of more than 3 years. We will also not fund the same project 3 consecutive years in a row. So that is, we don't want you to keep recycling the same grant. We want to see new things. For projects previously funded, we want you to consider adding a new element. So I run Start on the Street, and when I write a grant for Start on the Street, I don't write a grant for Start. I write a grant for performance, or I write a grant for, I'll write a grant for performance, or I'll write grants for demonstration, that sort of thing. So you need to sort of think creatively about your grant. If you do the same thing year after year, you have to think about a sort of the creative component of that. Types of grants, there are 2 types of grants. There are project grants and fellowship grants. This person's singing to us. We're creative in every way here. The goal of project grants is to encourage Worcester County individuals or organizations to develop projects and programs that are innovative, collaborative in nature, provide a public benefit, reach underserved populations, and demonstrate excellence. So a lot of the things we do look at is collaboration. We definitely look at underserved populations. So these are, important components, but they are not the only components. Per state mandate, project grants are funded on a reimbursement basis. No grant monies are distributed up front. Monies will be made available after you've completed your project and submitted the appropriate documentation and receipts. And in your grant, when you are approved, you receive a checklist of all the things that you need to send back to us. And you can just check them off as you go down. So we try to make it as easy and as compact as possible. Some examples of project grants are public art programs, exhibitions of art that are open to the public, lecture concert series with free or reduced admission, collaborative projects that appeal to an underserved population, and projects that demonstrate a public benefit. A large part of how we determine funding, and again, this is not what we're going to fund, this is sort of what we've been told by the public they're interested in having us fund. So these are our general priorities given as a mandate to us by the public through our survey, what people are interested in seeing us look at this year strongly, which is public art, visual art, arts education. However, all projects in the realm of art, science, and humanities will be considered. So don't think that you have to write a grant within this scope. Just know that that's some of the stuff we're looking at. This is all in your grant writing in your application. 10 copies, signed and dated, of the MCC grant. Copy of a 501c3 organization applying to the list of board of directors and their professional affiliations and addresses. Unincorporated organizations must provide a 501c3 fiscal agent letter stating that the agency has agreed to act in such a purpose for that duration. The application must submit a commitment letter. All right, so this right here, embroil on your brain. This is like a big of the brass tacks. You need to have a commitment letter from where you're having your project take place. If you're going to be at the library needs to tell us that you're going to be there. If you're going to be in Elm Park, the Parks Department needs to tell us that you're going to be there. You won't get any further in the granting application if you don't have this. This is a must-have. Because we need to know that if you're going to do something, the place that's going to host it is guaranteeing you that spot and that time. So that's a big, big thing. And then see the 2015 grant guidelines for any additional requirements. But most of what you guys need to really know about is right here. But then you also have your paper copies. One thing I will say, when you start to fill out your grant, you'll notice that you're only allowed, I think it's 750 characters to tell us about your grant. Please send another piece of paper. Put an addendum, because no one can write a grant in 750 characters. So just so you know, like we always get calls like, it says 750 characters. Yes. You can put a piece of paper in, put it underneath, and continue writing your grant, because it's not actual, it's not 750 words, it's 750 characters. So feel free to add a single-page addendum to your grant in order to expound upon the things that you would like to expound upon. Fellowship grants, which is a horse with a different color. The fellowship grant is to assist Worcester County artists, scholars, literary persons in developing and exploring their work outside the structure of a specific project. So you don't have to come to us with a project. You can say, I've been an artist in the city for years, I need more canvas, I need a new loft, I need to do something. So it's an ability to explore either the work that you want to do, change the work that you want to do, but it's not bound on a level of, I'm doing this for this purpose. Persons in any creative discipline may apply for a fellowship to cover time, material, space rental, production, and other components of their ongoing work. So we have funded classes where someone was a digital artist and they wanted to go back to painting again. We have funded people going to playwriting schools because they wanted to learn a different component of playwriting. So there's all these sort of ways to explore your internal person that you could be a new artist, up and coming, or an established person within your field. So. Fellowship grants, 2 fellowship grants will be awarded in 2015 with the amount of $5,000 each. Fellowship grants are not reimbursement based, so as soon as the fellowships people get us our W-9s, we'll send you a check for $5,000. You do at the end of the year, however, do have to send us like a little thing that tells us what you've been doing. Sometimes we'll call on you if you're a fellowship winner to speak at one of our events just to talk about the work that you're doing or have been doing. Funding is determined. Fellowships are determined by persons whose work is innovative, thought-provoking, and demonstrate excellence in their field, thereby representing the best of Worcester's creative community. And that's kind of amorphous. We're a body of 9. We talk, we argue, we debate, and we hope that we make the best decisions for the fellowships. Applications must have a resume, 10 copies of a signed and completed fellowship application, a 1-page narrative. You get a lot of them. A 1-page narrative of artist statement and a copy of support materials, slides, discs, CDs, preferably from the last 3 years. 3 letters of recommendation pertinent to your work. Now let me just say, if you're a fellow and you've applied before, please don't send us the same fellows, please don't send us the same letters 2 years in a row, because we keep everything from the year before. So we're looking for you to have somebody write something new about the new work that you've been doing, that sort of thing. And again, look at the 2015 guidelines for any additional components that we've added in there, which I don't think there really are any. This is where you get your guidelines and apps for worcestermass.org/WAC, and you have them here. So are there any sort of general questions, or would you guys be interested in just going to sort of breakout groups and talking to us individually about some of the stuff that you want to talk about? Sure.
I had a question about, a couple of questions about the fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going to let you all jump in too.
you provided an artist statement. Would you need to provide a statement about what you're seeking? Are you seeking money for
Yep, that's all part of what. Yep, that's all part of the application. What you're looking to do with it. But then your artist statement is you as an individual artist, like your philosophy on why do you do the things that you do. So just a basic artist statement. It doesn't need to be anything elaborate. But part of that grant is what are you looking to do?
Is there a kind of set amount of images? Say it's visual art images you'd want to see, or a recommended amount?
Whatever you feel like you need to supply to the council so that they can make a judgment on your work and your ability, your skill set. And they funded everything from, in recent years, we've had a playwright, we've had poets, we've had a screenwriter, we've had ceramic artists. This year, the 2 fellows both had kind of a science bent along with an art. So it's very, very open. Very competitive, but
right.
very
Yeah, I think fun. My other question was, I remember talking before about equipment. Was there restrictions that something about it had to expire in 3 years or something like
For
that?
a fellowship, you just get the $5,000 and you can spend it any way you want.
Okay.
For a project grant, any capital equipment does have special considerations. It has to be, you have to explain why you need this piece of equipment to do this project, and this equipment has to have a lifespan of 3 years or more, and you have to have a 2-to-1 match.
Right.
So it's for a project, it is scrutinized as to why capital equipment is necessary.